Hello, ladies. It's Marie. So here we are at the end of October. The last 2 months of 2020 is upon us. Thank the Lord. Although I'm not sure it's going to get better, too much better at the beginning of 2021. And what I wanted to do today is just continually deepen self compassion and grace. And so the topic today is really about grace. I think we need to give ourselves a ton of grace right now. There is so much going on in the world that is frightening and uncertain and walking through fog and unknown. And a lot of people are struggling on a variety of levels, maybe not even recognizing that the struggle, because to sustain this altered universe and lack of connection and lack of normalcy for 7+ months takes a toll. Quite frankly, it just takes a toll. And what we're finding is the payments are coming. We've been numbing, we've been coping, which crazy busy women are super good at. And yet, like, we've been holding on until the end of 2020 and we can kind of see it in the distance, yet the news and everything is saying it's going to go on even longer, maybe fall of next year, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know about you, but I am running out of coping mechanisms. And what used to work isn't working anymore. And I woke up this morning. I'll be honest, I'm human. I woke up this morning in a funk. I just was stuck. I felt stuck, and I haven't felt stuck in so long. And I just did some gratitude practice, which I always do in the morning. And I did some self forgiveness and compassion stuff. Like, it makes perfect sense that I'm feeling this way. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of turmoil. There is so much animosity going on with this election coming up, and we're almost there. What happens after the election? There's just so many questions. And what I realized is, and the reason I wanted to talk to you all today, is there are 3 patterns that I find in my old life that I used to do a lot that are seeping in right now because of the extended uncertainty that we've been going through. And 3 things that crazy busy women, the women I work with in my group, the women that reach out to me and we talk to, the women that are in our 8-week program, there are 3 things that crazy busy women do pretty commonly without even recognizing it. And they are coping, numbing, and futurizing. And let me walk through each of them and how damaging they are. So for crazy busy women, the way we survive, we're in survival mode all the time. And we've got lots of balls up in the air and we're going, and we're never stopping and getting quiet and kind of seeding into ourselves to listen and give grace and all of those things. We're just in movement, constant movement. Some people call it the hamster wheel, swirl, whatever you want to call it. And when you're in that constant state of movement, you're doing that for a variety of reasons. 1, it's all you know. 2, it keeps you from having to deal with some things that you're not happy with in your life because you don't have time to think about it. You don't have time to deal with it. You just keep moving. And 3, it helps you not address and be in denial. If you're constantly moving and you're not listening to yourself and not, staying inside yourself and taking time to listen to what's going on and what's really going on to you, you're just in movement. And it's an awesome way to be in denial because you are just not going to go there, just not going to go there. And that is like the coping and numbing are a nasty combination. And the coping part of it is like go, 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 go. There's rationalizing that happens with coping. Well, this is all, this is how I have to live. I mean, I don't have a choice. I have to bring in money, that I have to do this. It would be nice if I could do that, but I can't. If I stop, the world would crumble. I can't say no. All of these things that we do, or we go into this rationalization that's negative, which is like, why does this always happen to me? Why am I the only one that can't figure this out? Why am I so unlucky? Like the world is against us. Then there's a subset of people that are like, that jerk, why does this keep on happening? People are awful. Like we're angry about it and we're projecting out and not taking it on ourselves. The I people take everything on. I guess I have to learn something. Why does this? It's the victim. Then we're like the boxer is what my mentor calls it, is level 2, which is really just like blaming others and getting angry and being angry all the time. And then there is the rationalizers that I think people that blame themselves also are awesome rationalizers, but everybody is an awesome rationalizer because what we do is we try to make sense of it. And for crazy busy women, what we do is we try to make sense of it up here so we don't have to go to feeling. We don't have to really address it. We don't have to feel it. We just stay up here. And so we throw crap against the wall on why things are happening. Well, maybe this, well, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that. Oh, it's this, it's that. Why am I so stupid? Da, 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 da. We're trying to like, well, I guess it's meant to be. I guess God doesn't want me to have this. It's selfish to ask for other things. I'm so much more blessed than everybody else. How dare I want more? My life is really good. I should just make peace with it. Maybe this is as good as it gets. That's all in this rationalization that's really trying to keep us safe and make sense of it in our heads so we don't have to feel the pain of not having something, struggling, making mistakes. Like being in the pain of it is here. And we've talked about this a lot, that the staying in here keeps us separate from everybody else. And the consequences of that are we're doing everything on our own because nobody thinks we need help because we're just handling everything up here. And we're not being vulnerable or honest or feeling our feelings. And when we feel our feelings like sadness or disappointment, as scary as that may be for you, it brings people to you to help you. You reach out for help, people can connect with you. It brings real connection in your life. If everything is fine, there's no real connection. I mean, you meet women in your life that don't let you in by, I got it, everything's fine, don't worry about me, blah, blah, blah. And we somehow think that's strong. And the opposite is we think feeling or admitting we're having a tough day, like I'm telling you, being vulnerable to say, I'm struggling right now. I woke up in a funk. I'm tired of COVID and not being able to do what I want to do. And my daughter not going to school and seeing the impact of that. It's weighing on me. That is vulnerable for me to say because in my little lizard brain, I want to be like all together Marie for you. But what I'm trying to tell you is by showing you my vulnerability and my struggle today is I'm showing you that maybe you'll relate to me more. Maybe you'll connect with me more because I'm being real and I'm feeling my feelings and they'll process through and I can give myself grace and self-compassion because I'm actually in it instead of here denying it. And the denying it is where the swirl and hamster wheel and exhaustion and burden and responsibility and absolute survival mode happens, is staying up here. And that coping and rationalizing is the constant motion of never slowing down and actually dealing with your life and the things that are going on in your life. We cannot change what we're not recognizing and dealing with. And so it's going to keep you stuck. Even though you don't feel stuck, maybe you do feel stuck. A lot of the women we work with feel stuck, but they're also exhausted because they're in constant motion. And then we go to numbing. So when we can't make sense up here and we start to feel something, we quickly distract and we go to alcohol and food and not taking care of ourselves and, Facebook and social media and scrolling and Pinterest and going on our phones and not being present and just getting lost in something, show holds meaning Netflix, like watching a series, doing something to just turn out the world. And honestly, in small and healthy doses, recognizing that you're doing this and you just need a break. And I'm going to go indulge in X, Y, and Z for a limited period of time. It's super healthy, but we're not doing it in a healthy way. We can't make sense of it here. We're starting to feel something we don't want to feel. So we immediately distract ourselves. I don't know if you ever saw that movie Up with Disney, but it's like squirrel and they move over here because we cannot stay in the emotion, sadness, disappointment area. It scares the crap out of us. And so we work so hard to rationalize and cope and make sense of it up here and move in survival mode so that we don't have to actually recognize what is happening. And I've used this analogy before, but it's so damn perfect. Is like when something is wrong with your car and you start to see the light and you're like, oh, well, it's not beeping. And okay, I got to deal with that. I got to deal with that. And all of a sudden this noise starts in your car and you just turn up the radio and you're like, I don't have time to deal with that. I'll get to that next week. Oh, this week is so crazy. I'll get to it next week. I'll call somebody. I'll make that happen. It says I can still drive, right? And then all of a sudden your car stops working and you got to deal with it. And that's fine. Go to a mechanic, rent a car. It'll all be good. It would have taken you half an hour tops to deal with it before your car broke down. And now it's going to cost you more. So there are consequences for that. But now let's apply that to yourself, your emotional and physical well-being and mental well-being. You're ignoring. Flashing lights are going off. Sounds are going off. You wake up in the morning, you're feeling pain somewhere. Your heart rate is going. You're starting to get depressed and can't lift yourself out of it. You're having headaches that don't go away. You feel nauseous. You can't sleep. All of these things are signals that you're not dealing with something in your life. And the beauty of what happened to me this morning is I'm recognizing that I am in a funk, which I call a funk. It doesn't last long. And I'm like, okay, well, let me use my tools. Like, first and foremost, honor the funk. Like, my God, it's been going on a long time. My God, there's such ugliness in the world right now with the election and people are so divided. And we all want the same things. And yet we're just not listening to each other. And, it just, everything feels really broken. And that's affecting me. And that's okay. And it makes perfect sense. And I put my hand over my heart and I give myself grace. Like, just call it a day, Marie. You're having a rough day. It's okay. Don't put judgment on it. Don't try to make it make more. Reach out to a friend. Be honest. Talk about it. Go. I'm talking about it all the way on the internet and everybody hearing, because this is real. This is what emotions feel like. When you recognize them, you can deal with them. You can manage them. It's healthy to feel pain. It's healthy to feel disappointment. It's healthy to feel, I don't even know what I'm feeling. I just feel overwhelmed with the state of the world. And I don't feel like I really can do much to change it. So I'm trying to change my world. And that feels hard right now because it's been going on for so long. And I can be in my sadness of the state of the world and still get things done and not be in a corner or in my bed with my covers up, because that's what healthy adults do. We can feel our emotions. We don't have to fake them, and we can still make things happen. And the old me used to be very afraid of feeling feelings. And I would say things like, well, my counselor would say to me, like, you have had a lot of loss in your life and there's a lot of grief. Like, do you ever cry about it? I'm like, I can't cry. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I got a daughter, I got a job. You want me to go around crying? I can't do that. Like, she's like, well, what about for 5 minutes? Can you cry for 5 minutes? I'm like, that's ridiculous. I mean, I just didn't understand it, because that was just like, it felt weak. It felt like everything would crumble if I did. It wouldn't change anything. So why should I feel it? Like, why should I go there? It doesn't change anything. I'll stop crying and my life will still be the same. And that wasn't true. I never let myself feel. I never let myself truly feel the sadness of some things that were happening. And when I got healthier and when I worked through the things that I work with our 8-week program, I now am not afraid of emotions. I cry pretty easily, and my daughter sees me cry. And here is a powerful thing, guys. I used to be so afraid of my daughter seeing me cry, as if like she would think that she's not safe or whatever. And you know what she did? She held my hand the first time I cried in front of her. And she was like, Mom, it's going to be okay. That's what you always tell me. It's totally good to cry. You should feel your emotions. And she parroted back what I say to her. and she comforted me, and it was a beautiful moment. She got skills. She learned skills in that moment to support somebody. And she saw that I worked through it, and we were good, and the world didn't crumble. She didn't feel unsafe. She wanted to help me. And that is emotional intelligence that I'm teaching my daughter that I never learned. I never learned. And so what I'm saying is, when feelings happen to you, to not resist them. And by the way, that's going to take some help and work and accountability from somebody, because when you are a non-feeler, when you're a crazy busy woman staying in here and this scares the crap out of you, you need help breaking down why. If you're rationalizing and coping and numbing and, then you're not dealing with your feelings. You're not feeling your feelings. And this sounds like, why does this matter to me? Why does this matter in my career? Why does this matter in my life? I can't do this. The world will crumble. I'm fine. Things aren't that bad. All of these things, by the way, all of those are rationalizing, and they're not true. And the reason that feeling your feelings and processing feelings matters in your life is it's how you get into flow. When we are resisting everything that is actually truly happening in our lives, we are in contraction and struggle and hamster wheel and exhaustion and overwhelm. But when we feel our feelings, something happens, we process it, we practice self-compassion, we use our tools, they flow through us, and we're back in flow. And flow is an awesome place to be. It's an awesome place to be as a leader, a professional, a mom, a friend, a partner, a human. It shows people how to live and be a role model. It's an amazing thing. And it may seem scary as hell to some of you crazy busy women out there because you're not good at it. It's nobody taught you. And I think there's a belief, I certainly believed it, that if I actually felt my feelings that I've been doing this to for 40 years, what would happen? Would I be a puddle on the ground and never be able to get back up? No, is the answer. You won't. I've done it. I've seen women do it. I've seen countless women do it. I've helped women do it. I've been in programs where other women did it. Vulnerability is a beautiful, powerful thing. It is not weakness. It is beautiful, and is the strongest people I know show vulnerability. Brene Brown is all about vulnerability, and if you have not been introduced to her, I highly recommend you watch her TED Talk on vulnerability. It's powerful, and it's a gateway video to help you start living a different life. The last thing that crazy busy women do is futurize. And what that means is we are so far out into so many scenarios of what could happen in the future. What if, that we aren't here today in our lives present dealing with what's happening. We're also not here present in our lives today connecting with the people we love and the people that we're leading in our workplace, because we're out there worried about something we can't control that may or may not happen. And here's the thing, we never futurize positive things. We only futurize bad things happening. And then we're in this swirl of what if, like it's actually like we're actually creating that reality as if it's happening. And there is a, in a generous 50-50 shot, it will even happen. But in most cases, it's like 90-10. You've created a scenario that's never going to happen. And you're living in that pain right now. As if, what if, or putting off something. And probably the most powerful one I can tell you, and this is me being totally vulnerable, is when my father was dying of cancer and the end was coming, and we could all feel it. He was such a fighter, and he lasted longer than anybody else thought he could with the cancer that he had. But it was becoming very, very clear that the end was near, and I couldn't handle it. Obviously it was very difficult. And my brother was like, powerful man who barely doesn't say a lot of words, but when he does, they're really, really important. He said to me, Marie, you're missing it. Like, I'm going to cry. He's like, you're missing it. Like, we have him here now, and it's going to suck when he dies, but like, deal with that then. Right now he's here. Like, enjoy the time you have with him. See him crying. And it was such a powerful lesson in my life because I was already grieving my dad. and he was here. And I just asked you all, as I cry on the internet today, how many things in your life are you already grieving that haven't happened and may never happen? Like, if you're single out there and a crazy busy woman, you're already grieving that you've never been married or never will be married. If you're in a marriage that, isn't working, or you lacking the connection you really desire, you're grieving that instead of dealing with it and actually doing something about it, or grieving that your children are going to be permanently damaged from distance learning, instead of in the moment. We can't change that it's not here yet. We can only deal with ourselves and being the best version of ourselves to bring to the table in this crazy ass time we're living with our best energy, our best self. We are responsible for the energy we bring to this world. We bring into every room, we bring into every meeting. And how can we possibly be in our best self and energy if we're like way down in survival mode? So if you're a crazy busy woman out there numbing, rationalizing, coping, futurizing, not friggin' feeling anything, scared of feelings, not dealing with what's going on in your life, but distracting yourself from it, trying to stay safe in here instead of connecting in here and giving yourself some self-compassion. Here's what I want to say to you today is it makes perfect sense that you're feeling out of whack right now, or depressed, or struggling, or anxiety ridden, or stressed out, or hamster wheeling it, whatever. It makes perfect sense. We are in unprecedented times. Give yourself grace and go get help. Reach out to a friend, go to crazybusywomen.com and sign up for a free breakthrough call where we can start to talk about what's getting in the way in your life and start building a plan. Do one of my programs, an 8-week program that will absolutely transform your life, I swear, because I see it happen every day. If you are willing to do the work, you can change. If you're willing to deal with what's happening, you can change. But you need help. Like anything else in your life, you need help. You need accountability and you need new tools. And this year has challenged everyone, but it's also a huge friggin' wake-up call on how you're going to live your life, what's important, what's been taken away, what we want back. Like, we can't ignore it anymore. It is a life lesson in how people are dealing with stress, how people are handling things. Are we loving and listening and being kind and giving people grace? Not a lot. It is a huge, huge message in like how we deal with stress in our life, how we deal with uncertainty in our life. How are you dealing with it? And when we finally get past this COVID and the world and being able to connect again and get back to some sense of new normal, whatever that is, triggers and stress and uncertainty is still going to show up. And are you going to go back to these damaging patterns of coping and rationalizing and numbing and futurizing? Or are you going to be in a new space of flow and peace and tools and action and possibility? I was just talking to a woman that I'm working with today that just started our program. So she's in week 1 and it was our kickoff call. And I said to her, one of the mindsets that I learned early on from a couple different mentors was 5% on the problem, 95% on the solution. And if I think about what is the biggest shift in my life is when adversity comes, when things don't work out the way I thought, when I find myself swirling a little, I go to curiosity. I wonder why this is happening. I wonder what this is supposed to mean. Like, I start to get curious about it instead of defeated. I'm in action when I'm curious. I'm open when I'm curious. I'm in flow when I'm curious. I don't get contracted and stuck and beating myself up because that was the old me. And now it's like I'm in this state of curiosity to try to look at it from a different perspective and get smart about it. Like, what is happening? It's interesting to me. Like, why is this showing up? Why does it keep showing up? What can I do about it? Like, that is a state of flow. It's not rationalizing. It's not, why does this keep on happening? Period. I'm so frustrated. Period. It's an action. And that's what I want for you. I want you to feel comfortable in your own skin. I want you to feel in flow in your life, even when you're challenged, even when you're triggered. I want you to own your power in a beautiful, authentic way and let the chips fall where they may. I want you to be skipping in your life, feeling joy in your life instead of burdened and tired and exhausted. And what happens in your career when you're in that space is just magical. But more importantly, what happens in your life when you're in that space is unlimited. And that's what I want for you. So today I was feeling heavy on my heart. I'm struggling today with the state of the world. And I decided to be honest about it. And I just decided to show you the patterns that happen when you don't have the tools to deal with what's happening and how you can get tools. And so if you're watching this on our Facebook group, Crazy Busy Women in Balance, reach out to us, book a call, let us help you. Don't just silently watch like a stalker and just listen and watch and go, interesting. Be in action, be curious, see what you can do about your life and how you can cope with what's happening right now. What you're not dealing with right now that's like already grieving, instead of changing it and maybe stopping it from happening. If you're watching on Instagram, go to crazybusywomen.com or go to our YouTube channel, Crazy Busy Women. Go to our website, crazybusywomen.com, and see the programs that we have that can help you. Book a free coaching call, go and see our masterclass and learn some things today and be in action. 2020 is about to end, but the ramifications from this dumpster fire 2020 is going to continue for a while. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. And so how can you end this year strong? How can you go into 2021 more capable of handling all this in flow and in power, in your own unique power? And we can help you with that. 8 weeks, your life can be changed. Go and find out about this program, crazybusywomen.com. Find out about our 8-week program called Dream Big, Revise Often. Find out about me. Find out I'm everywhere. I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, and Facebook. And I just want to help you. I have seen the dramatic change that it can happen in women's lives that say yes to us, our help. And it's so awesome to see. And I've seen it in my own life. I'm not asking you to do anything that I didn't already do. And you can do it no matter who you are, no matter what your circumstance, you can do it. And I want that for you. I want to end this year strong. I want to feel my emotions of today and feeling like in a funk. And I want to share that with you to show you that you can be vulnerable and strong. You can be vulnerable and powerful. You can be vulnerable and completely healthy. These things can happen together. They're not either ors. And I'd like to show you what flow looks like, and happiness looks like, and freedom looks like, and joy looks like, and bigger success looks like. And I'd like to show you what possibility looks like, because when you're in survival mode, possibility can't happen. It's literally blocked from your vision. It's like a house in front of your vision, and then that house gets broken down or torn down, and all of a sudden you see that there's the beach on the other side and sunsets, but you couldn't see it before. And what are you blocking in your life that you can't see because you're stuck in survival mode and hamster wheel and struggle? What's on the other side of that house that's blocking your view? And how beautiful of a life can you have? That's what I want for you. So go to crazybusywomen.com and learn all about us and take action on behalf of yourself today, and have an awesome rest of the week. And in November, we're really going to double down, because it's really like we're in the final run of this year, and I want to help you as much as I possibly can. And so we're going to do more Facebook Lives. We're really going to talk. We typically do November and talk about boundaries, but I'm going to talk about really the women in our group and what they struggle with, what we call the intolerable list, like what they're not willing to tolerate any longer. And we're going to break each one of those down. And then we're going to end the week in gratefulness, because I don't want to be even more heavy, but I want you to deal with your life. So we're going to do much more Facebook Lives. We're going to be much more engaged in November, because I really want you to end this year strong. And I'm going to do everything in my power to help you do that. So watch us on Instagram, join our free and private Facebook group called Crazy Busy Women in Balance, and be active in this wonderful community of powerful women. Or go to crazybusywomen.com and sign up for one of our programs, or get on a free coaching call, or look at our masterclass. There's tons you can do. I just want to help you. I know I can, and I really would like you to change your life. So love you guys. Have a great day, and give yourself some grace. Okay. Give yourself some grace.